What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I really don't have a lot to explain or describe in this video because the last video I did on the Waymaker Davidic dance routine, I explained in detail how that dance was born. And all I did was modify the steps so that I can be facing the camera and remain centered, so that I'm not going around in a circle. And I also added the flags. So the footwork is exactly the same. I just modified it for the flags. And so it's still pretty simple. Well, let me rephrase that. It's as simple as it can be using the flags, because the flags are pretty advanced and they're really not simple already in and of themselves. But overall, as a flagger, this dance is pretty simple. There are only two parts. And if you want the details on how this dance was born, then I will have linked below how to get to that video if you haven't seen it already, so that you can go through it and see what I had to say about that. And so, yeah, I felt the need to add the flags because it's such a beautiful dance, and it sounds so much like the flags are necessary for this particular song. And so it's been pretty cool doing that. There are some new things for me, not huge, I guess, but I guess in a way it is huge, because before I left Tacoma, when I was doing the flags, I struggled a lot to really produce some awesome stuff. There are some awesome things that I did produce, but it didn't really come as natural to me as the Davidic dance did. Now that we're here and I'm not so dependent on the one who taught me the flags, all of a sudden I'm having all this inspiration to do the flags in many different songs. I mean, it used to be I would hear a song and I would just feel flags, right? It just sounded like the flags would be perfect for that song. But then I would labor and I would toil to add the flags into that song. I'd eventually produce something, but it was not a flawless act, right? Like Davidic dance, I would see the dance in my head before I would actually make it. And I wouldn't see the whole dance. I'd probably only see like parts of the dance, but nonetheless, I would still see something there. When it came to the flags, I kind of struggled. I wouldn't really see forms in my head, but now I'm seeing forms all the time. Like I'll hear a song at our congregation, or I'll hear a song on the radio, and I automatically have something in my head like, oh, I gotta do that. Like I gotta get up and I gotta grab my flags and I gotta make a dance. So this is new for me. Modifying the steps to add the flags isn't so much new, but that's something I didn't say in my last video on Another in the Fire. When I did that song, I already pretty much knew what I was going to do. That was new for me. So that's exciting. That tells me that the Spirit is moving and He's growing me. And see, I originally thought that I was really just going to be a dance leader in the Davidic dance, and somebody else was going to do the flags. But clearly, Father had a totally different idea, and He's definitely revealed some things to me that He wants me to do, and kind of reprimanded me, saying, your vision was way too small. When I initially called you into this ministry, it was too small. You thought you were just going to be on a team with a bunch of ladies and you guys were going to work together. That's great, but that is not what I called you to do. I want you to build teams. I don't want you to just focus on one team. I want you to build many teams. I don't know how He's going to do this, but the vision, basically, if you want to call it that, or the idea in my head that He's given me, has to do with Yeshua. Yeshua commissioned us. He said, go and make disciples of the nations. You know, many people, they think, okay, making a disciple is basically going out and preaching to the nations. No. Okay, yeah, he preached a lot. But what else did He do? We have to follow his example. What did he do? He trained them. He trained his disciples. And we're not just talking about the 12. He had many following him everywhere he went. And there weren't just the 12 men, there were many women as well, and a bunch of other men that followed him all over the place. He trained them. He taught them how to cast out demons. He taught them how to love their brothers and their sisters, how to live the Torah lifestyle. These are not little things. These are hard things to do. I just think about what it's like to confront someone who is possessed by a demon. That's not easy. That's not a simple task. Okay, so what he's basically told me is, I want you to make disciples. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a rabbi. And I know he does not expect me to be any of those things because I don't have those gifts. However, he has gifted me with something, which is the dance. And he has told me, he has commissioned me to make disciples in the dance. And here's something really interesting. He's also been telling me lately, don't just make them into dancers. I want you to make them into warriors. So that's a pretty interesting and heavy commission, in my opinion. So anyway, there's a little bit of a glimpse into what the Father has been speaking to me. And I hope you guys like this video. And if you would like to learn the flags, I suggest you go to shachah.org. That is SHACHAH.org. They are the ones who basically started this, created all these different sequences in many, many, many different forms of dance. So I would say they're one of the pioneers. So go over to their website. They have a lot of instructionals on DVD that you can order. I ordered them as well. Even though I know a lot of the flags already, I still ordered all of their DVDs so that I can have them on hand and use them, because some of the things I still don't know. But that way I can use them to train my own teams as well. So there you have it. I will have that linked below, and I wish you blessings in your journey if you're going to learn how to use the flags. I sure hope that you do. The flags are very special. Don't forget that. And they're not just for performance. In fact, they're not for performance. I want you to get this in your head. They are used for offerings before our Father to glorify Him. Not to glorify ourselves, not to entertain. This is not entertainment. Just remember that, okay? I love you guys. Enjoy.
You are here. Yes, it is, yeah. So you are Waymaker. Let's sing this together. Even when I don't see it. Come on, even when. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Come on. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. Even when I don't see it, you're working. You never stop. You're the way maker. Miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. Miracle worker. That is who you are. You are waymaker, light in the darkness. Oh, his name is above. His name is above depression. His name is above loneliness. Oh, his name is above disease.